I can't tell if I'm hearing with the headphones on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, there's audio there, but it's a bit soft. Bring that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that might be okay. Probably a little bit too much. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alrighty then. Now let's see where my video cameras are. VK3 EKH testing. Just bring up my camera. Alright, there we are. No lighting, of course, so I apologise for the lack of lighting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just checking the audio on 80 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's too much there now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5, 4, 5. Hello, 1, 2. Alright, I think we're there. Every Friday, it's always the same thing. Alright. So I think the level is okay on vMix. It's just clipping into the red. We have streams running on Discord and my YouTube channel, which you'll find on YouTube. Where else? Look for the live indicator. And we're on the prime frequency of 3541 kilohertz in the 80 meter amateur radio band. We're transmitting with the linear this evening, up to about 400 watts, and hopefully that won't cause the Telstra modem to fall over. So I think we're going to be pretty right, actually. Let me just turn that down. All right. 5th of December. This is my second last transmission for the year. I'll be on next Friday, which will be the end of the year for me, both at work and here on Friday nights for about 4 or 5 weeks. I'm planning to take a sabbatical, although I'll still be broadcasting the Wireless Institute's broadcast on Sunday morning on 160 metres AM and through the Melbourne TV repeater, but I'll give for the Friday night session a bit of a break. And I'll be back in the new year. Probably at this stage we're looking at the January the 27th. So I go back to work on the 27th is the slated thing. 30th of January we're looking at. I think the 30th of January to come back here. So it'll be a nice breakaway, and hopefully somewhere in between all that I'll be able to clean up this mess here. Hopefully, it's a hopefully. Okay. All right, let's get things happening here at 5 past. I think tonight will be a relatively short session. So, but I think I say that every Friday, and I still go for the hour. We have an email address too if you wish to send signal reports, vk3ekh@gmail.com, vk3ekh@gmail.com for any signal reports and the like. The Astronomical Society of Victoria was founded in 1922 and comprises well over 1,600 members throughout Victoria, and including overseas membership. Membership of the Society is open to all persons with an interest in astronomy. The Society's objectives are to encourage the study and practice of astronomy, to disseminate knowledge of the science, and to provide greater facilities for this study among its members. Monthly meetings are usually held on the second Wednesday of each month, except in January, where the latter being held on a Saturday night. I'm not sure if they still do that. Meetings start at 8 p.m. right on the noggin and aim to finish at 10 o'clock at the Mullier Hall, or the National Herbarium, in Burwood Avenue, Melbourne, near the Melbourne Observatory, which is located adjacent to the Shrine of Remembrance. Parking is available in Burwood Avenue, Dallas Brooks Drive and surrounding streets. Admission is free and visitors are most welcome. And I took my eye off it. Yes, privileges of membership include the right to borrow books, periodicals and other publications from the Society's extensive library. Located at Melbourne Observatory, receipt of the ASV magazine Crux, called Crux, containing articles, news, observing notes, and the free provision of the Astronomical Yearbook, which is a yearly publication by the ASV, and that's this book here. Nice little publication that it is for optical astronomers. Access is available to telescopes on members' nights held regularly at the Melbourne Observatory and after monthly meetings, weather permitting. These instruments include the Society's 300mm equatorial reflector and a 300mm portable reflector. The 200mm refractor managed by the Royal Botanic Gardens and a recently restored photoheliograph are also housed at the observatory and are accessible as well to members. The Society also has a number of 200mm reflectors available for short period loan, so members can try before you buy, sort of thing. Regular Society Club night meetings are held at the Melbourne Observatory in the Ellery Suite, Burwood Avenue, opposite the Shrine of Remembrance. Members are encouraged to use the Society's instruments located there in order to gain first-hand experience in telescope use. These instruments include a 508mm equatorial reflector and a number of smaller reflectors. Members are also encouraged to make use of the Society's country property located near Heathcote, about a 90-minute drive north of Melbourne. There are a range of instruments available for members to use, the larger two only with appropriate training, and they range from 300mm to 1000mm in aperture. Also located on the site is a fully steerable 8.5 metre radio telescope, which members can be involved with through the radio astronomy section. Pleasant good evening to any RAS members there. Members are encouraged to make and use telescopes. Advice and help on both matters are provided willingly to newcomers wanting to do the same. Instrument making is only one of the number of common interest activities catered for within the Society. Other areas of interest that members can participate in include deep sky observing, astrophotography, lunar and planetary observing, auroral, meteor, comet, radio astronomy, computing, cosmology and astrophysics, historical studies and research and astronomy in general. All contact details for various section directors are provided in the yearbook, but if you don't have the yearbook, because you have to be a member to get that, you can also access the contact details for these section directors via the ASV website. Mumble. Further information can be obtained by visiting the ASV website, and notification of events are given in the Crux Extra Bulletins, which are emails sent out to the membership every other week, just to keep people informed about what's coming up in the next couple of days or weeks, just to remind people. ASV will conform to all government health directives, thus ASV events may be cancelled, postponed or relocated to another time. If you wish to write a letter to the ASV via normal mail, please address the envelope to the Secretary, Astronomical Society of Victoria, GPO Box 1059, Melbourne, Victoria 3001. Right, you're tuned to ASV Radio, VK3 Echo Kilo Hotel, broadcasting since 1988 on this frequency, and only in recent times via the video streams on television and whatnot. We're broadcasting, forgot to mention, we're also via the Melbourne TV repeater, VK3 RTV, Digital Channel 1. Pleasant evening to all viewers on the local repeater. operating right now as I speak on 445.5 megahertz. 445.5 megahertz DVB-T2, and which can be viewed in the Melbourne metropolitan area using a set-top box capable of receiving DVB-T2. The repeater outputs just a little bit over 100 watts, vertical polarization, and it is located behind the police academy on the water tower. There's a 100-foot water tower in the back of the police academy near a rather large reserve of water. And the transmit antenna system is right at the top of the tower, vertical polarization, a set of folded dipoles, giving off a kind of a cloverleaf type radiation pattern, and 100 watts of digital TV HD. So if you're able to, I'm trying not to sneeze here. If you've got a reasonably good line of sight, or potentially line of sight signal path to the top of Mount View, that's what it's called, Mount View, to the police academy, there's a very good chance that you'll be able to see the repeater. Anyway, all information about the ATV repeater can be found on a singular page at Amateur Radio Victoria, ARV, amateurradiovictoria.com, and there's a singular page that's dedicated to RTV, how to view it and how to get into it. There's also a dedicated website to vk3rtv.com. Alright, I didn't have time to make a cup of coffee either, so I'm going to struggle. Anyway, because it is the beginning of the month, we have Sky Notes courtesy of Tanya Hill, the resident astronomer at the planetarium there at Williamstown. And for those watching the visions, I've got a picture of her on the screen right now as I speak. That's Tanya. I was about to say Tamitha. Tanya. And anyway, let's see if we can just quickly get into the Sky Notes for this month. Let me see, where are they? There, okay. Right, I'm going to follow. There's another interesting thing that she's got here, talking about the planetarium. So I've got a little bit of an article on the planetarium to follow. But nevertheless, the Sky Notes for December 2025 starts off with the summer solstice. It's the summer solstice again. Earth will have its solstices this month. On Thursday the 21st, summer solstice in the southern hemisphere, the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. And of course, solstice comes from the Latin meaning the standing still of the sun. This is when the path and position of the sun in the sky reaches its furthest extremes and pauses before beginning its 6-month reverse to the next solstice. At the summer solstice, the sun will rise and set at its most southerly points on the horizon, with Earth's axis tilted at 23.5 degrees. The southern hemisphere will be leaning towards the sun. Its rays will be almost perpendicular, giving maximum heat to oceans and land. The sun's path will be the highest and the longest of the year. Daylight hours will therefore be the greatest. So that's Thursday the 21st of December. The opposite conditions of winter will apply in the northern hemisphere, where the hemisphere will be leaning away from the sun. Sunlight will be at shallow angle, giving least warmth. The sun's path will be low and short, and daylight hours will be the shortest of the year. There's a little graphic that shows all that. Let me just bring that supplied graphic up. Oops, wrong one. Where are we? There, vMix graphic. There we are. That's what we're talking about. So that's watching video, Discord, YouTube, repeater. So solstices and equinoxes from a southern hemisphere perspective, not to scale. Just point that out. All right. Now, a quick list of sunrise and sunset times for December. On Monday, the 1st of December, sunrise was at 5:51 a.m., setting at 8:26. On Thursday, the 11th, sunrise will be at 5:51 a.m., setting at 8:34 p.m. It's interesting that this should be the same time. Sunday, the 21st, it'll be rising at 5:54 a.m., setting at 8:41 p.m. And on Wednesday, the 31st, sunrise will be at 6 a.m., setting at 8:45 p.m. And the day length being about 14 hours and 44 minutes long by the end of the month. Moon phases. There is a full moon tonight. On the 5th of December, there is a full moon right now. Third quarter on Friday the 12th, a new moon on Saturday the 20th, and a first quarter phase on Sunday the 28th. Moon distances on Thursday the 4th, yesterday in fact, is the lunar perigee, or nearest to the Earth, at a distance of 356,926 kilometres. And on Wednesday the 17th of December is the lunar apogee, which is furthest from the Earth at 406,322 kilometres. Now, as far as planets go, Mercury is moving closer to the Sun in the morning, but is not visible from Melbourne this month. However, in March it will reappear in the pre-dawn eastern skies. Venus too is not visible from Melbourne as it heads to its pass behind the Sun, but will become visible again in April next year. Mars will also move behind the Sun for its solar conjunction and not be seen from Melbourne in December. It will also return to our night skies in April. Jupiter is visible from just before midnight and will be a morning object moving in the northeast to northwest until fading in dawn's light around 5:30 a.m. Saturn, faint and yellowish, can be seen this month from around 9:15 p.m. in the northwest before setting at about 2 a.m. Meteors this month from the 4th to the 17th and peaking on the night of the 13th and 14th are the Gemini meteors will appear in the northeast. Unlike most meteor showers, which occur as Earth passes through the tail of particles left behind by comets, the Geminids are associated with the asteroid Pantheon. I think that's how you pronounce that. Pantheon. Up to 120 meters per hour. That is to say, up to 120 meteors per hour. could be seen from dark locations at 120 meters. Yes, that's the wavelength I'm talking about there. No, just joking. They say up to 120 meters per hour can be seen from dark locations. That's the Geminids, and that peaks on the 13th and the 14th of this month. So if you're into meteor scatter, which I've had a little bit to do with many years ago, which was a bit of fun, that's when to activate your VHF devices and turn your beams to the north and call CQ on the calling channel, and hope that there are other stations listening out for you. Anyway, you know what to do. All right, what's next? Oops, there's the inbox. Meteors, yep. Stars and constellations. If we turn our chair to the east, summer offers a rich selection of features to enjoy from northeast to southeast. Sirius, the principal star in the constellation of Canis Major, sits directly east in our evening skies. It's the brightest object in the sky, from what I remember. To the left is Orion the Hunter, with three bright stars forming a line at its belt. In our southern view, his two shoulders are Bellatrix at lower left and red giant star Betelgeuse at the lower right. His 2 feet are marked by Regal at the upper left and Sapphire in the upper right. Sapphire, I think that's how you pronounce that. Well known to many is the local asteroid, the saucepan, being the right way up. Its base is Orion's belt, and its handle forms the hunter's sword, or scabbard as they say here. If we turn our chair towards the north sky, Taurus the bull can be seen by finding the red giant star Aldebaran, which marks its red eye and is one corner of an inverted V, which forms the bull's head. At 65 light years away, Aldebaran is closer to us than other stars that are at 150 light years and form an open cluster known as the Hyades, or Hades. To the left of Aldebaran is the beautiful Pleiades star cluster, or the Seven Sisters, and that region of the sky is amazing from its nebulosity. When you start taking photographs of the Seven Sisters or the Pleiades, you can get some very amazing detail in that structure of that part of the sky. Not that I've done that yet, but I hope to. In many widely separated cultures, this open cluster often represents a group of women, sometimes connected to the figure of a man as represented by nearby stars of Orion. If we turn our chair to the west, in the southwest sits Sagittarius, the Centaur Archer. Low in the west is Capricornus, Capricornus, or the sea goat, and higher up is the bright Fomalhaut, or the Alpha Pisces Austrani. These bloody Latin words. The principal star in Pisces, or the southern fish. That suits me fine any day. In the south is low in the south, and upside down at this time of the year is the Crux, Southern Cross, with the pointers Alpha and Beta Centauri to its right, guiding the eye to Crux. Our galaxy's two small neighbouring galaxies, the large and small Magellanic Clouds, sit high in the south. Stretching from south to north is the Milky Way's dense arc of stars, containing large interstellar dust clouds that block our visible light, or visible light view from more distant stars. Among them is the Coalsack, which sits beside the Southern Cross. In lightly polluted skies, it's very hard to distinguish the coal sack. I do remember as a young kid looking up at the sky, and I could clearly see the coal sack in this region of the sky next to the Southern Cross. Not that I knew that it was called the coal sack, but I could always tell that there was an area of the sky that was uniquely darker than the surrounding area. But unfortunately, light pollution ruins that view. But I have had that vision renewed. The last time I was up at the dark sky site up at Heathcote, I recall standing out there amongst many other people looking up at this beautiful starry night, and it only takes about 20-30 minutes for your eyes to adapt to the darkness, and once that's happened you can see a whole lot more going on. But the coal sack stood out so obviously, a region of the sky where this dark nebulosity, if you could call it that, not allowing any light from behind it to pass through, and it's just as it says, a coal sack. It's just this dark region of the sky, but you can see it by eye. It's quite an obvious thing. Anyway, there it is. The International Space Station orbits every 90 minutes at an average distance of 400 kilometres, appearing like a bright star moving across the sky. And I think we've just had a passing just a short moment ago. Looking at my Geochron screen from here. In actual fact, there's a passing, a second, that was so 90 minutes have already passed since I last noticed that. There's another passing just about to occur. Not that it's mentioned here, actually, but looking at the Geochron screen, I can see that the International Space Station is currently over Indonesia, and its footprint is now encroaching the northwest coast of Australia, but its orbit is actually taking it right across Melbourne, right above us. In just a few minutes' time, it'll be right above us. So I'll give you all permission to go outside and have a look up, and you'll see this object moving across the sky. I think it is 10:30. Yep. Yeah, you may see it. The sun's a bit below the horizon now. It may be actually in darkness. No, I reckon you might be able to. Again, looking at the Geochron screen, the Terminator is currently, sorry about the departs from the microphone, but the Terminator is currently on the coast of Western Australia, and at 400 kilometres above the Earth's surface, there still might be enough scattered light on the horizon from the International Space Station's point of view for enough light to reflect off it. So yeah, so you can go out there in just a couple of minutes and let me know if you actually see it going directly overhead here from Melbourne point of view. I'll let you know when it's there, if I don't forget. If I could just patch the screen over the video side of it, that would be really good, but I don't have that facility right now. So, having said that, they're saying here at the International Space Station that the brightest paths is expected this month over Melbourne is Saturday the 6th. There's a passing at 9:51 p.m. to 9:57 p.m. coming in from the north-northwest to the east-southeast. Then on Tuesday the 9th, there's a passing at 9:04 p.m. to 9:11 p.m. northwest to southeast. Then on Tuesday the 23rd, there's a passing at 10:45 p.m. to 10:52 p.m. coming in from the west-southwest to the northwest. And then the next brightest passing will be on Wednesday the 24th, just before Christmas Eve, 10 p.m. to 10:05 p.m. coming in from the southwest to the east-northeast. Some people might mistake that as Father Christmas flying overhead. If you want more accurate timing for things like this, I always recommend going to the Heavens Above website. Heavens Above website. Usually it's typed, the URL is something like heavens-above.com. But even if you just type in Heavens Above on your favourite search engine, you'll be able to find it. It's a very simple, basic website, nothing fancy, but it's accurate, up to date, and it gives you just about everything that's in the sky, celestial to satellites to whatever. It'll give you an indication of what's in the sky at the moment. Important to put your location in. Part of on the tab is a location provider where you can just put in your latitude and longitude for more accurate information. All right. Now there's a couple of dates here, more than a couple, but I'll just quickly run through a few. On the 1st of December 1922, solutions to Einstein's equations for space-time and mass energy are developed by Alexander Friedmann. On the 2nd of December 1915, Einstein's general relativity is published on gravity acceleration equivalence and space-time curvature. 1915. Also on the 2nd of December 1971, Mars 3 USSR, first soft landing and return of data from Mars. On the 3rd of December 2014, JAXA, J-A-X-A Explorer, Hayabusa. Number 2, Japan is launched to asteroid Ryugu with a planned sample return to Earth. Ryugu, I think that's how you pronounce that. Also on the 3rd of December 1973, Pioneer 10 makes the first flyby of Jupiter and returns the first close-up images of the planet. On the 7th of December 1676, Danish astronomer Ulrimer calculates first accurate speed of light by observing the eclipses of Moon Io by Jupiter. It would be interesting to work out how he did that. Also on the 7th of December, well actually it's the 7th to the 19th, 1972, Apollo 17, the last moon mission and longest on lunar surface at 74 hours 59 minutes by astronauts Eugene Cernan and Harrison Schmitt. 1972, Apollo 17, that's such a long time ago. Also on the 7th of December 1995, Galileo probe USA makes the first orbit of Jupiter after 6 years in transit. On the 8th of December 1977, the High Energy Astro Observatory is launched into orbit. Also on the 8th of December 2010, SpaceX is first private company to launch, orbit and recover a spacecraft in SpaceX Dragon. SpaceX is first private company to launch, orbit and recover a spacecraft, which was its SpaceX Dragon. Okay, just seems like yesterday, that one. Keeping an eye on the Geochron. It's almost on our horizon, the International Space Station. It's Victorian horizon. If you're living up in Mildura, it would be just coming up on your northwest horizon as we speak. And just give me a couple of minutes, I'll mention more on that. And on the 14th of December 1962, Mariner 2 is first probe to fly past Venus. Also on the 14th of December 1546, Danish astronomer Tycho Brahe, I think that's how you pronounce that, whose data aided Kepler in his laws of planetary motion, is born. And on the 15th of December 1970, Mariner 7, which is the first probe to land safely on another planet and first return data when it arrived at Venus. On the 21st of December 1988, cosmonauts Vladimir Titov and Musa Manarov make longest spaceflight, 365 days, 22 hours, 39 minutes on Soviet space station Mir. And just keeping an eye on this footprint. Any second. On the 21st of December, 21st to the 27th of December 1968, Apollo 8, first manned craft to orbit the Moon, 10 orbits at 110 kilometers above the surface, imaging landing sites and the iconic Earthrise photo. So that iconic, I don't have a picture of it right here, but that iconic Earthrise, as the Earth rose on the Moon's horizon, was taken by Apollo 8 astronauts back in 1968. Let me have a quick look. Alright, now at this point in time, I hope it's visible, but if you all go racing outside right now and scan your eyes to the northwest, the International Space Station is just beginning to arise on the horizon here in Melbourne. And so it's just coming over the horizon right now. You might see it as a very, very slow moving bright object on the western horizon there, northwestern horizon. And as it slowly goes overhead, it may dim a little bit depending on how much sunlight is reflecting off it. Then again, it might stay quite bright. Although that all depends. I'm not sure what the sky is like out there at the moment. It might be cloudy. I think we've got an all-sky camera here. If I bring in the all-sky camera from Heathcote, if I can just find it, there it is. It's cloudy up at Heathcote at the moment. Yeah, so that's north of the horizon. That's the view of the sky in Heathcote at the moment. So there's plenty of cloud there, and damn it, if it was a clear sky, it'd be interesting to see if the all-sky camera would pick it up, and I'd say it would, as a moving light across the sky. So look, I'm not even sure what the sky looks like outside here at the moment. Last I looked up, it didn't seem too bad, but so it might be pointless going out there at the moment. Certainly at Heathcote it's not so good, but anyway, yeah, so the footprint of the International Space Station is definitely over us, and I don't know whether there's any communications occurring from it at the moment, down on 145. What's the frequency I usually use? 145.88 something or other. There might be some comms happening, perhaps, maybe. I don't think so exactly. But it's almost it's crossing. It's pretty much over Adelaide, between Adelaide and Mildura at the moment, and it's about to go directly overhead. So I'm hoping that the 80 metre coverage here in real time is hopefully that the sky is clear for some that might be able to get outside about now and be able to see the International Space Station heading directly overhead if there's no clouds around. Alright, sky notes. What else? I almost finished that actually. On the 27th of December in the year 1571, discoverer of laws of planetary motion, Johannes Kepler, is born. 1571. On the 28th of December 1612, Neptune is observed for the first time but mistaken as a star by Galileo. And finally, on the 30th of December 1924, astronomer Edward Hubble announces faint nebula are actually galaxies beyond our own. So thanks Tanya Hill for providing those sky notes for the month, and there she is. So much appreciated when those sky notes do come through. Alright, just another quick look at the geochron map. And looking at that right now, the International Space Station should be pretty much right overhead. So hopefully you've got a clear sky where you are looking, if you can still hear me from the shack. And but the International Space Station is practically overhead as we speak. The footprint is covering all the way up to Cairns, Queensland, right down to over Tasmania. And like I say, it's practically directly overhead from looking at the geochron screen at the moment, which is a few metres away, but it's right overhead as I wave to the International Space Station. All right, what's next for tonight? It's amazing how I've filled up this hour already. Where are we? What was the next thing I was going to waffle on about? Let's have a quick look at the email. G'day John, he's listening on the YouTube channel, and we've also got, Stephen's put in an apology, VK3SPX, he's otherwise busy. G'day Stephen, if you're listening in the background. And if I look at Discord, we have Andrew, VK3KIS, and g'day Mike, VK3XL is also listening there on the site as well. Okay, there's a couple of short articles here. They won't take a moment to get through. Look at this. I think the International Space Station's now gone. No, not quite. It's still visible. But have a look at this photograph, ladies and gentlemen. As soon as I put my glass of water down. Go back to vMix, Clint. Where is this picture? Oh my goodness, where are you? There we are. Have a look at that. On December the 1st, and I still remember this so vividly, on December the 1st, 2020, the Arecibo telescope collapses. I think we've all seen that footage. Today in the history of astronomy, the storied observatory succumbs to structural failures. And I haven't seen this photograph before. It's taken from low in the recessed hill where the dish was being suspended. But that particular shot is quite dramatic. The largest radio telescope in the world for most of its life, the Arecibo telescope, lies in pieces after its platform came crashing down into its dish. On December 1, 2020, the Arecibo telescope collapsed. The Puerto Rico facility had already suffered two cable failures, one in August and one in November, and engineers had predicted that the increased load would be too much for the remaining cables. The National Science Foundation announced on November 19, 2020, that as the telescope could not be safely repaired, a controlled decommissioning would be carried out. Before that could happen, though, wires in the remaining cables began to break, and the 900-ton suspended receiving platform crashed to the dish below it. It was a devastating end for a groundbreaking telescope that had been one of the most powerful instruments on Earth for nearly 6 decades. The 2024 report by the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering and Medicine indicated that structural stress from Hurricane Maria contributed to the collapse, but also that signs of imminent cable failure were missed and or ignored by engineers and inspectors. One thing they don't really mention a lot in this sort of report is that there was an earthquake that occurred off the coast of Puerto Rico at about within 5 minutes of the dish collapsing. There was a seismometer operating at Arecibo, and it recorded the earthquake at that location, at the Arecibo location. and I always feel that that particular earthquake that occurred at around that time certainly, I think anyway, contributed to the rest of the structure coming down the way it did, but I could be wrong. Anyway, that's another story. You're tuned to ASV Radio, VK3EKH. The other article I've got here is, let me just bring up this picture, and we're talking about on November 30, 1954, the first known human injury via a meteorite. Today in the history of astronomy, 30th of November, an Alabama woman is hit by a falling meteorite and lives to tell the tale. I think I may have mentioned this a few months ago. There was an article about this. On November 30, 1954, Anne Hodges was napping on the couch in the living room of her home in Alabama at 2:46 p.m. An 8.5 pound or 3.85 kilogram rock crashed through her roof, bounced off a console radio and hit her hip, leaving a large bruise. The rock, which was at first turned over to the Air Force and then the Smithsonian, was actually a concrete meteorite made up of iron and nickel. While Hodges didn't suffer any lasting physical effects, she became an overnight celebrity, the first known person to be injured by a falling meteorite and survive. It was an uncomfortable situation for the very private Hodges. She became entangled in a court case with her landlord over ownership of the meteorite, and in 1946 she and her husband divorced, in part due to the stress that the incident had put on their relationship. And in 1956, ready to be done with the meteorite and the disruption it had brought to her life, Hodges donated it to the Alabama Museum of Natural History, where it is still on display. And that's it in the picture there you're seeing on the screen right now. Hodges meteorite caused a marriage breakup and all sorts of other terrible things. Who would have guessed? You're tuned to ASV Radio, VK3EKH. Let me see what else is next here. The Mount Burnett Observatory, as a bit of a plug for them. Bring up this caption. Tomorrow night there is an open, let me see, go back to the website, a public viewing night on the 6th of December at around 8:30 p.m. So my recommendation, if you want to go there, is just to see if you can go to the website mbo.org.au, and contact somebody that will can talk to about getting access to the website up there. To the observatory. I'm sure they welcome guests that haven't been up there before, but there's a public viewing night tomorrow night, kicking off at around 8:30, and hopefully the weather is good for that. Spaceweather.com. Alright, now there was something else I was going to talk about tonight, but I'm not sure if I've got time for it. Let me have a quick look at where I was going to be for that. The Christmas barbecue is happening on the 13th of December. The Astronomical Society of Victoria invite you to our annual Christmas barbecue 2025, Saturday the 13th of December from midday. Book now. Event location, Leon Mao Dark Sky site, Ladies Pass. Public tickets at $20 adult, $10 ASV members. Kids are free from 16 and under, and Yeah, so if you go to the ASV website, the revolving banner they have on the main homepage there's a link to the Starbecue. So if you click on that, that'll bring you into all the information you need to know. So that's the Starbecue. That's next Saturday, not tomorrow, but the 13th of December, next Saturday. Okay. What was the other thing I was going to do? Oh yeah, let me have a quick look at this. Planetariums. Just let me wait for the page to load. You're tuned to ASV Radio, VK3EKH. Let me just change the slide on the TV. Let me just have a quick feel of how long this article will take. I can probably leave that till next week. Yeah, I can probably leave that one. It's not critical. Melbourne's first star theatre, the H.V. Mackay Planetarium, just as a wetner, is that the right term? Whatever. 6 years ago this month, on the 2nd of December 1965, Melbourne's first planetarium opened as a public venue dedicated to and in response to a growing interest in astronomy and space exploration. Located in central Melbourne on the first floor of the Institute of Applied Science of Victoria, later the Science Museum of Victoria, the new attraction occupied part of the Swanston Street building shared with the State Library of Victoria and the National Gallery of Victoria, the H.V. Mackay Planetarium. And I remember going to that several times as a kid and being blown away. Anyway, there's a story associated with all that, which I'll read next week. Alright, so let's now pick up spaceweather.com. There's no report from Tamitha at the moment that I can see. The first thing to throw up is the sun. There is the current disk of the sun. If we could look at the sun right now, that's what it would look like. And so the report goes something like this. The solar wind is currently at a speed 636.3 kilometers a second at a density of 1.55 protons per cubic centimeter. The disk of the sun has several sunspots on it right now, as you can see in the picture. The sunspot number is 165, and the current aurora is looking a bit like this, which is fairly vague. So there is a slight ring over Antarctica, but nothing much to write home about. The coronal hole there's a coronal hole on the northeast part or limb of the sun, which has obviously a lot of high charged particles escaping into space from that region on the sun. But that's what that looks like at the moment. And back to space weather. I think I've got the current charts here for where are we? There's something wrong with that, so I won't show that. Lots of umming and ahhing here, but do apologise for that. And geomagnetic storm watch. There's improved models of yesterday's CME suggest that it might hit Earth after all. A glancing blow or near miss is possible on December the 7th. Potentially sparking a minor G1 class geomagnetic storm. The CME was launched on December the 4th by an M-class solar flare from sunspot 4300. which is this one here. If I go back to the disk of the sun, there you can see where it says 4300 just there. I can't show you because my mouse doesn't show on the screen, but you can see 4300 just there. They're saying that that there was a CME that was launched on the 4th, an M6 class flare from sunspot 4300. Another interesting thing that they've got here in this today's copy of spaceweather.com is this. You might think that's a comet, but no. This is the sodium tail of Mercury, which is really interesting. Hang on, let me read this first. Oh, okay, I see. The biggest comet in the solar system is actually a planet. They really shouldn't start it off like that. Anyway, the biggest comet in the solar system is actually a planet. It's Mercury. On the 3rd of December, a fellow by the name of Stephen Balvia photographed Mercury's magnificent tail from Surrey in Virginia. This 24 million kilometre plume of gas is being ejected from Mercury due to the Sun, very much like a comet. First predicted in 1980s, Mercury's tail was discovered in 2001. Its source is Mercury's super thin atmosphere. Mercury is so close to the Sun, pressure from sunlight pushes atoms out of the atmosphere into space. The most important atom is sodium, which strongly scatters sunlight and gives the tail a yellow hue. Balvia used a narrowband filter to capture the bright yellow sodium light at 589 nanometers. Mercury's tail waxes and wanes in brightness as it orbits the Sun. The predictable pattern is shown in this movie from NASA's Messenger spacecraft, which spent years at observing Mercury's tail from close range. And I'm not sure how well this is going to play, but this is what they're talking about. Now the problem, this is only a short video, and it's coming off Vimeo, so when that finishes it's most likely going to go off to something else. Let me see if I can start it again. Oh yeah, I can. Alright, so can I loop that? Let's see if I can loop it. Please stay, please loop. No, it doesn't want to loop. Alright, let me play it again. So for reasons having to do with the Doppler shift of sodium absorption lines in the solar spectrum, Mercury's tail is most luminous when the planet is plus or minus 16 days from its closest approach to the Sun. And let's go back to it. 16 days from its closest approach to the Sun. That special date is less than a week away. On December 9, Mercury will be 16 days past its perihelion, and tail should be as much as 10 times brighter than what the astronomer had seen in this image. So just don't forget to use your sodium filter. So to all astrophotographers out there, on the 9th of December, Mercury will be 16 days. So here's your chance to photograph this sodium filter, the sodium tail. Although I'm not really sure how successful from this part of the world, but Northern Hemisphere it might be. I'm not too sure they mentioned that. But that's what it looks like. That's Mercury with that sodium tail. Isn't that amazing? I'm going to try and capture an image of that someday. That'll be really great. All right. Finally, as of the 5th of December 2025, there were 2,349 potentially hazardous asteroids, but none of those are on a collision course with Earth at this present point in time. All right. G'day, Scott. He says, hello, Clint. The International Space Station not visible, 30 kilometres northeast of Melbourne, due to cloudy. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Thanks, Scott, for that. There it is. Bloody weather. All right. Now, I think that's about it for tonight. Just a couple of minutes past the hour, so that's not too bad. All right, and I think that's about it from everywhere else. Let me bring up my camera. Oh, what's this? It's just something's just come up on this video. I'll just show you for a sec what I'm looking at. There's a waterfall happening. This is a feed from Vimeo. It's like YouTube. It's the equivalent to YouTube, Vimeo. And just a moment ago, there was the solar trail from Mercury, but now it's automatically playing something else. I don't know what it is, but it's showing a waterfall with a signal that's got Doppler on it, and but I have no idea. Actually, looking at the frequency, that's the frequency being received at that moment is 8.4 gigahertz. So what we're looking at here, if I take a guess, is the telemetry from a probe, the telemetry signal at 8.4 gigahertz, and what's being recorded is the Doppler on that signal. But I don't know where the probe is. I don't know what the probe is. I can't see it anywhere in the text there. So, but that's interesting. Yeah. All right. Enough of that. That's just a side thing. All right. This is VK3 EKH. We're now going to go across to 80 meters, 3541 kilohertz, and see if there's any stations wishing to check in. So let me just get ready for that. I'll take off my headphones, and one of these inputs here is the live audio from the speaker. I think that might be it. So this is VK3 EKH, listening on 3541 kilohertz for air stations wishing to check in.
VK3 Bravo Tango Victor.
G'day, Kieran. VK3 BTV. Any other stations?
Yeah, VK3 AOB.
Acknowledging VK3 AOB. Any other stations? Alrighty, VK3 BTV. Haven't heard you for a while, Kieran. Have a say, VK3 EKH.
VK3 EKH, VK3 BTV. G'day, Colin. Long time no see. When I speak. And you got me fired up about the ISS sightings. And yeah, we'll have a go at doing some audio with them if they're so disposed. And I might even introduce my next door neighbours to watching them fly across the sky. That'll probably freak them out completely. They're a couple and they're approaching their 80s. VK3 EKH, VK3 BTV.
Yeah. Whoop. I'm mucking around with this blasted mixer, trying to get some levels set because I'm trying to run patch audio through 80 meters over my video system, and it's a bit of a juggle to get that right as you guys are speaking. It's Clint, by the way. I think you said Colin. It's Clint, as in Clint Eastwood. But anyway, g'day, Karen. Good to hear from you, and I trust you've been doing well and in best of health. And it's been a while since we've heard you. So thanks for calling in, and quite a good signal here too. Not a problem with that. All right, across to you there, Brett. VK3AOB, VK3EKH.
Good evening, Clint, and fellow listeners and participants. Yeah, very good, nice job, well done. You're kind of pretty when you're confused. Yeah, anyway, you're doing a great job. And I've got my phone's acting up, turn that off. Yeah, very good. I was playing around earlier, and I'm sitting here watching there's your dulcet tones and countenance on the screen, and it's sort of got nothing to do with what you were talking about, and then I realised I'm looking at an old version that's pre-recorded, so I've since solved that problem. I know I've got you live, but it took me a little while to figure that one out. Yeah, so there you go. Look, yeah, job well done, and it was quite good. I'm here tonight because it's warm. Past couple of Fridays it's very cold here. I thought, no, I'll get into bed. Anyway, back to you.
Yeah, that's okay, Brett. Understand totally. Mightily good signal coming from you too as well. Lots of beautiful audio quality associated with that transmission, so it's sounding absolutely beautiful. And thanks for the kind words. And as I say, this is my second last transmission for the year. I'll make one more transmission next week, and that'll be it for a bit of a break, taking a sabbatical for 5 weeks. So that'll be nice. Just looking at the all sky camera up at Heathcote, and there's a trail of an aircraft on that right now. It's causing a line across the screen. One might think that's a shooting star, but no, it's just an aircraft. The tail navigation lights of the aircraft in view, but there's quite a lot of light being scattered down in the northern horizon, there, northern part of the sky. Don't know where all that light's coming from. Might be I don't know, is the moon up? It might be the moon, I'm not sure. Anyway, no, not to worry. Alright, having said all that, is there any other stations wishing to call in? VK3EKH. Alas, no. Alright, I'll take these headphones off. Thanks everybody for listening to tonight. All the stations there on the Discord channel, Andrew and Mike, emails from Scott and John. Stephen VK3 SBX was an apology. Let me have a quick look at Discord chat room, and there was just Scott calling in by the looks of that, I think. Yeah, so that's fine. Alright, no worries at all. Anyway, alright, thanks everybody for listening. Everybody have a lovely weekend. Take care, look after yourselves, and we'll see you all next Friday. And don't forget the transmission, the Wireless Institute of Australia's broadcast on 160 metres Sunday morning at 9 o'clock on 1825 kilohertz. Do appreciate signal reports from that transmission. On it's AM. It's 160 AM, 1825 kilohertz at 9 o'clock on Sunday mornings. So it'd be interesting just to get signal reports. That's all. This is VK3 EKH concluding transmissions on 80 metres and everywhere else, and we'll see you all next week for the final transmission for the year. Cheers everyone, take care. Yeah, no worries, Brett. Yeah, the cloud cover is is the bane to to any astronomer. It gets in the way all the time. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, cheers. Good night all.
Shall I call you Colin? How was that? Yeah, great broadcast, and we have a lot of very good ISS broadcast. ISS broadcast. ISS traverses coming up. So it's summer. That will be awesome. And enjoy your break after next week, Clint. VK3KH, VK3B2B.
Yeah, no worries, Kieran. You're forgiven. It's all right. I had to think twice about your name because I haven't heard you for so long. But anyway, no, all good, all good. And yeah, look, the International Space Station flies around every 90 minutes, so you know there's every possibility of being able to see that object going across the sky. So you know, if you haven't seen it before, it's always great to see it, to shoot across. It's quite a very, very distinct, bright object when it is flying over. I haven't been able to see the Chinese space station yet. Haven't seen that go over, but it would be interesting to be able to see both the International Space Station and the Chinese space station within QE of each other. I've been watching their paths on the geochron map, and there's been quite a few times that both space stations are within a few hundred kilometres of each other, and you know, from people looking up, you'd be seeing these two bright objects very closely coming towards each other. So, but not colliding, of course. Anyway, not to worry. All right, thanks, Kieran. Alright, so to all the video watchers, thank you for watching. I know that I get numerous people catching up with the YouTube recording over the next few days that can't actually watch it here on a Friday night. I understand that it's always a little bit too late for people to listen in, listen in at this time on a Friday night. I can understand that. So anyway, on that note, we'll say cheers and thanks for watching. And don't worry about subscribing or ringing the bell. That's just a lot of nonsense. Cheers, everybody. Take care. Let's go across to what the view of the International Space Station would look like if you're on board.